Welcome to Live Action Star Wars Presents Data Link. I'm Ralph.
I'm James.
And today we are discussing the NPR radio drama for The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes. Coming back.
And
when did we do Star Wars? Did we do Star Wars in January? Something like that, wasn't it? It was early.
It was something like that. It was, I don't remember. It doesn't seem like that long ago. It might have been like December. I know we moved it up for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, as you said, we're not doing it alone.
We're not doing it alone. So as he wrote in the private chat, he produces and co-hosts the George Lucas Talk Show and the Untitled Improv Project every Sunday at Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles. We both think he's really cute. It's Patrick Cotnoir.
Look at him. How could you not think he's really cute?
I think we did that in like February or something because I was driving up to San Francisco for Sketchfest and I was listening to it. So I think it was like later than.
And my car was broken and I had to walk to work. That's why I was in the chat as soon as you guys were carrying on afterwards. Yeah, that's right. It was. It must have been around
there.
Yeah.
That's right. That was where me and Patrick talked for like an additional like hour and 15 minutes.
I woke up late because you guys do this before the sun comes up.
It's yes. I was just telling Patrick that he is, I believe, the only second West Coast person to do a 7:30 a.m. show, Pacific time. Silver from Star Wars Thrifting,
one of the greats.
But when she did it, she got ready. She put on makeup. You
would have thought that she was living in my time zone,
right?
Do you want me to like put a face mask on or something? Is that what you want?
No, you're good. You're good. Lucha Johnny's here. My sister Sarah's here, and Stevie's here, and so specifically hi to Patrick. Happy Star Wars Day. For those of you that celebrate Orthodox Star Wars Day, today is one of my favorite days of the year. And I can explain it again. I don't know.
We've done it for the last 2 years, I think. I mean, this is also our anniversary, isn't it? This is our anniversary show.
Oh, that's right.
I've only just realized that. Yeah, we started 2 years ago today.
Yeah, our solo episode. No, we didn't do our solo episode on this date. We did our intro episode on this date, I believe. Yeah. But it is also the anniversary of not only Star Wars, which is now 46 years old, Return of the Jedi, which is 40, and Solo, which is I'm not gonna do the math. 7?
5?
No,
not
7.
5 years.
Was it 2017?
2018, I think. Yeah, it was 18. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it was because I saw it with my ex-wife.
And it's 2023.
Yeah.
So 5.
Yeah, 5 years.
I have a question. And this goes out to Twitter and anybody watching who knows this stuff. Like 2 days ago, people were trying to make trying to do the Make Solo 2 happen hashtag out there, and people kept talking about Solo, and people were watching Solo. I was wondering why the 23rd.
Did it premiere? Was there a premiere then?
Premiere?
Maybe, or like someone reported it wrong, and then everyone just jumped on it.
People really want to avoid May 25th. What's going on?
Yeah,
it's like 420, where it's also like someone else's birthday.
It's my friend Pete's birthday. Happy birthday, Pete!
It's my friend Dan's birthday, who was born May 25th, 1977.
Wow.
He was born the day Star Wars came out. I'm like, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
I'm looking up to see what the Wikipedia page for 23 is.
Right.
Oh, it was one of the clones. There was a clone named 23.
Oh my God. So
surely you could just go through every number and look, you'll probably hit a clone.
I like that on Star Wars Minute. that the George Lucas talk show was on.
That's true.
They mentioned Wizard 44, and I believe they mentioned Wizard 44 on a previous episode because I looked up the magazine Wizard. Remember Wizard magazine, the comic book magazine?
Yep.
And there was nothing Star Wars related. I was hoping there was like a Star Wars related thing, but it was some, I don't know, Witchblade or some shit.
I was going to say there might have been an ad for like a Power of the Force figure in there somewhere or something. But
what is Wizard 44? I don't remember that at all.
It was sort of a when they were doing designs for Ochi, I believe, or something.
Oh, yeah.
It was just instead of giving it a character's name, because you leave that up to whoever, the story group or Pablo or whatever.
Yeah.
They just wrote down Wizard 44 as a concept.
That feels so much like a Cantina sketch or something like that. You know, when they were like doing like the original sketches, and they're just like, I don't know, Ugly Man 7 or something like that.
Walrus Man.
Yeah.
Mentioning Star Wars Minute, it's worth noting that Patrick, if you haven't listened to it yet, Patrick was on this Monday just gone's episode, which
Minute
was
26.
Yeah, 26th, which was recorded at Celebration. You can vaguely hear me in the background laughing if you know what to listen to.
We love that.
So I had
weird weekend.
I had 6 days. It was a great show. I really
weird weekend.
It was a weird weekend. Did you end up having COVID, Patrick? We never figured it out. No,
I don't think so. I mean, I came home and I felt bad for a couple days, but I never tested positive.
As I said to you in a message, that's just London. That is just going to London. You'll feel bad.
It was like, I think it was just like a convention. Haze, and then I was on a plane for like 18 hours. So I think like
I'll do
everything added up together. I
remember after Anaheim. After Celebration Anaheim, like a day later, I got you've been exposed. The update on my phone. Like, but then, so the other, like a couple weeks ago, me and Stevie are sitting in the ice cream shop, and my phone starts buzzing, and it's the COVID alert. And I'm like, oh, great! Now I got to go check this out. And I clicked it, and it says COVID's over. And I'm like,
oh, I know.
But can you do like a different alert for that? Can you just send me an email? Can you not?
I keep getting them saying you were exposed last week in New York, and I'm like, no, I wasn't. I don't live in New York. Why are you doing this? So I don't know. Weird stuff.
Now we're in that stage where it's just scams. It's just everyone's going to start trying to sell you meds, and it's just like, I'm still going to be careful. I'll still be cautious. I'll still avoid it when I can. But like, come on now.
I know.
Jeremy and Kelly just showed up. Also listened to the NPR radio drama for Empire Strikes Back.
Great.
Bumped into Jeremy on Saturday at Urban Plates, which is a dining place. He caught me at a weird time. He caught me at a real weird time. My computer desktop ceased to exist. The weirdest thing. I went on Apple support and dealt with 3 IT people in a chat, one senior IT person on the phone, who then sent me to a senior IT person who couldn't figure out. My desktop disappeared. The show stuff disappeared that I was working on for the next couple shows. And then I'm like, I can't. I just finished recording Dharma Lars, and I was like, I don't know. I'm so mad that all my stuff is gone, even to the point where my desktop wallpaper went to a default, so it wasn't just my desktop; it was like my documents was gone too, completely just off the map. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go. We're gonna go eat. We're gonna go watch Fast 10, and then I ran into Jeremy, and it made me very happy. It was so good to see Jeremy. He said, "Oh, hey, that's Stevie," and then saw that I was there. He recognized Stevie first, which is funny, but it made my day. Much more than Fast 10. I'm not here to talk about Fast 10, but it's my least favorite Fast and Furious movie.
Wow,
low bar. That's a low bar.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you see, listen, there's there's these kinds of movies, and then there's other kinds of movies, and the Fast and Furious franchise falls in the other kind of movies where it's like when I go see James Bond or I go see Star Wars, it's like everybody needs to just shut up. I need to watch this. Fast and Furious, I'll chat the whole time, and but it was just, my sister has seen I think 3 of them. We dragged her to this because Aquaman was in it, and it's a slog. It's a slog. Everybody fights everybody in a fist fight for no reason.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I don't care about it.
Yeah,
I
checked out a few movies ago, and I was just like, I've seen it. I'm bored with it. I'm done with it.
And that's what we're talking about today, right? Because I rewatched all of them for that.
Absolutely,
okay.
I mean, yeah. There's 9.
I'm gonna say the Fast 10 is about as long as the Empire Strikes Back radio drama.
Jesus. All right, so that is what we're meant to be talking about today. What did you guys think of this?
I have very specific thoughts, and I feel like maybe everyone will agree with me on this. I really enjoyed it. Definitely not as good as the first one, but just because the first one definitely was a companion piece to the original movie and had different scenes. You got to see C-3PO's journey to the Sandcrawler. You got to see Princess Leia before she got captured by the Star Destroyer.
Tashi Station,
this one,
all of that stuff. Like,
This one, since both storylines in the film are so laid out perfectly, they really don't have any other characters to cut away from. So it's just more like
2-1B.
Yeah, 2-1B. Great. Creepy voice 2-1B. Yeah.
And some a little more Lobot, but it's more expanded scenes instead of. But what's great is this is also like 3 episodes shorter than Star Wars, so it didn't go on too long.
Yeah. Exactly my thoughts.
There were 2 things that I liked in this a lot. Ralph and I have spoken about this.
You kept texting me. I'm like, save it for the
But
I was because I was excited to text you back
for sure. Well, I knew I would
want to talk about him first.
Yeah, I knew I would forget about it if I didn't send it to you. I like that Luke calls Wedge a meatball. I thought that was fun.
Yep.
Right.
Makes meatballs canon in the
He also calls Yoda a gnome. Like
Oh yeah.
Because again, it's audio, so you got to convey things.
It's so descriptive.
But so it's stuff like Han Solo. How did he stop that blaster bolt with his hand? So it's like
there's so much of that.
The other thing was how insane John Lithgow was as Yoda. Like it was like he heard. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it was crazy. It was like he heard every other Frank Oz character and was like, "Oh, I'm going to do those voices."
Okay, so I knew it was him before going into this, and when I'm like waiting for the episode to happen where Yoda shows up, and as soon as he shows up, I'm like, "Oh, he's doing a pretty good Yoda impression. Like it's pretty good." But then as it goes on, pretty quickly, it starts devolving into this goblin voice that sounds like Miss Piggy. It sounds like Grover. It reminded me. Are you guys super familiar with the Kurt Russell movie Overboard?
I've seen it.
I might have to look it up. If there's a character, there's a little boy who's obsessed with Pee Wee Herman, and he just runs around the house yelling shit like Pee Wee Herman, and that's what John Lithgow sounds like. So I'm gonna talk about Yoda for a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can't find a
great
clip of that.
I mean, it's wild. It's wild.
I mean, these were all done after their respective films came out.
That's what I was looking up.
It's like he must have seen it, or at least like seen clips of Empire Strikes Back by that point, just to be like have some comparison. But he's like, I'll stick to it a little bit, but I'm just gonna do my own thing.
But I'll say this came out February 1983. So maybe he saw it in 1980 and then was like, I got it. I remember.
Yeah. Possibly.
You know? Maybe.
So I watched a clip of the Graham Norton show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was like it was what's Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg movies where they're like brother-in-laws or something.
Daddy's Home 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Daddy's Home 2. The Graham Norton was talking to these guys about it, and Graham Norton brought up Yoda, and John Lithgow tells the story how John Madden, the director of these, was directing a play on Broadway that John Lithgow was in, and John Madden was like, man, I'm really struggling finding someone to do Yoda because Frank Oz doesn't want to just play the voice of Yoda. He doesn't want to go in a booth and do Yoda.
He was the actor Yoda.
And so John Lithgow was like, yeah, I'll do it. Did the voice, and then he just got cast. But he really does make it his own.
Yeah,
he definitely changes it more than most things that like are established characters. Obviously, you've got some small roles that may have a line in the film, but the actors in this are allowed to do whatever they want. But Lithgow, it's a different take, and it's interesting. I don't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah,
I found out something about John Madden that was fascinating. I was looking him up because I was like, does he even look anything like the coach? But it turns out, so he was born on April 8th, which is a day after me. Completely different years, obviously.
Great.
But he's also from Portsmouth, England, which is like 20 minutes down the road. It's like it's the next town over from Southampton. So it's like a weird little coincidence that John Madden is there. I would not have pegged him as an English guy. Like I don't know. You think NPR like vocal director, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's just someone in radio in the States, fine. But
weird.
Yeah, very weird.
All right, Ralph, show us the clip.
Now I don't know. I'm not super familiar with this movie, but I think you're gonna get a good. Hopefully, you can hear this too. So I'm just gonna play it. It's a short clip. It's 15 seconds. I don't think we'll get flagged.
Well, I was hoping you'd recall this guy. He's your newest, honey.
Hi, Bob. My name's Joe.
A falsetto child?
Hey, this is Pee Wee Herman.
I love Pee Wee Herman.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty close.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the Navigator in Flight of the Navigator, like or not the Navigator.
It's something else. Yeah. Like it's worse. This is like this portrayal of Yoda is probably the best reason to listen to this. And I don't know anything about the Return of the Jedi one. I'm a little apprehensive about it. I think there's more room for additional scenes that aren't in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's done like, I think in 93.
Right?
Yeah, it came out later, and it's like different voice cast. I don't even know if Anthony Daniels is still there. He might be the only one.
Anthony Daniels is.
He comes back. Okay.
Billy D does not come back for it, so they decide to get the next best thing, which is a white guy. But there's some other weird. I'm looking at it now. Not the.
But is John Lithgow back in that one?
Lithgow is back. But here are the
How
two
did
selling
get
points.
Lithgow and not
here are the two selling points. Ed Begley Jr. is Boba Fett.
I know the other one. I know the other one.
Do we know the other one? Do you want to say it?
Say
it.
Ed Asner is Jabba the Hutt, baby. Yeah. Ed Asner.
Excellent.
Speaking Huttese. Okay, now I'm excited about it. But it's like, isn't it like a different writer, or is it the same writer, but he was he had passed away?
Yeah, Brian Daley, who wrote the first two, I think he wrote this one too, but he died before it went into production, or before it aired. That's what it is. I just looked it up.
Okay,
but I believe he wrote it too.
I'm right in thinking that Brian Daley wrote like a couple of the Han Solo Adventures novels?
Yeah. Early Han Solo books.
No, the early the little those ones. Yeah.
I
was gonna say whenever I heard his name, I was like, I know that name. He wrote early Star Wars books. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I had the New Hope and I had the Return of the Jedi one. I never had the Empire Strikes Back one. So I've heard those hundreds of times just because I would listen to them to fall asleep when I was a kid. But I'd never heard this one before. So it was very weird to it's great. Reading books 1 and then 3, 4, 5, 6 of a series and then going back and reading 2 and you're like, Oh, okay, yeah, that exists too. That's like a weird.
It's essentially Tokyo Drift in the Fast and Furious timeline.
Well, it's in the same way that my tapes off the TV copy of Empire Strikes Back used to like fizz out and burn just as the Battle of Hoth was starting. So I used to like try and catch it on TV at Christmas whenever it was shown because it was a Christmas movie apparently.
But wait, did you have this stuff after it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had Star Wars, had Empire, I had Jedi, and then that. But I mean, I'm talking when I'm like 3-4 years old because there was a new edition out in like 90. So it was just those first couple of years of life. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like this one relied so much more on describing what was going on.
Yeah.
And
the stage direction, it felt like a theater production, sort of, like a school theater production, where it's like, and now I'm gonna say exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
But just like the Luke in the Wampa Cave scene, where they like gave the out of like, oh, he's talking on the comm link to Han, or like trying to get in touch with Han, but it was just a lot of like, my lightsaber, it's on the floor. I have to reach for it. I'm gonna try to reach for it. I'm reaching for it. Nothing's happening. Yeah. Whoa, it's moving. Like, like it's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much through the whole thing.
I feel like there's I don't understand the purpose of the radio dramas.
Mm-hmm.
I know George Lucas produced them and wanted to have them to happen, and he was it's one of those things where he's like, man, he loves Saturday morning serials like Flash Gordon. He probably also liked radio dramas and was just like, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Star Wars was a radio drama. But I feel like everybody had seen Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. I feel like there should be creative license in altering the scenes.
Like they did with the first one.
Yeah.
Like they did with Star Wars, where it was like, hey, you've seen the movie. We know that you've seen the movie, but here's a slightly different take on it. Here's some stuff that you didn't see. Which made it far more interesting, I thought.
So, like with the Wampa scene, and it kind of bothered me before, but using it as just an audio version, Luke says, "Oh, my feet are stuck in the ice on the ceiling." Listening to him describe that out loud instead of a crazy visual like a Star Wars, like, wait, how did he do that? How did the Wampa do that?
Yeah.
Like
it held him up there while it froze.
So I said, but what water? Because it's like frozen. Yeah. So I'm like, a kid, like you can literally say that. Oh, I'm bound up, and there's skeletons. It's like, oh my gosh, my hands are tied. But just change it. It doesn't have to be like beat for
bringing up a good one in the chat. In the Bespin scene, the dinner scene with Vader, when he's like, "Look at your gun as it comes to me, as I bring it to me." It's like such a weird.
And then later on, like after Han's been put into carbonite and stuff, and it's just like, and now lower the slab to the floor. The slab has been lowered to the floor. It's like, it's.
You have great jumping abilities, Luke Skywalker.
My favorite one, I think, was it was during the bounty hunter scene, on the Star Destroyer, and Vader was like, "I'm talking to you, bounty hunter, Boba Fett."
Another voice that was weird.
Huh?
Another voice that was weird.
Boba Fett, it was weird, but it was almost like they were trying to do a Tamora Morrison more than like the original voice. Like it sounded like they were like nearer to what they ended up changing it to. So it was it was odd.
The Brock Peters, who played Vader, people would know him from To Kill a Mockingbird, but in this one he's like very. It's so different from James Earl Jones, and I don't know why.
It still reminds me of Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like Alan Rickman, depressed.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me of that. But so the big reveal of Darth Vader being Luke's father, it was like off-putting to me.
Yeah.
Like Vader was almost crying about it.
Yeah, he was pleading with Luke. There was a lot more pleading in that scene. And then Luke, it was definitely more coded as if Luke was like, I'm going to take my own life now, as opposed to like, I might get away. I don't know. Maybe people always saw it that way. But for me, I always sort of saw that as Luke going, fuck it, I'm going to see what happens. Like, I don't think he was like committing suicide at that point. Like, I've never seen it as that when I watched the film.
And in this, Darth Vader puts in his head, you're probably going to go into an air chute. You're probably going to go down a... And I'm like, oh. Because they have to explain
what's going to happen.
What can happen. And
he's so much more emotion when he's talking in a lot of the lines. Like, so many of the lines that you know, like, so well how he's going to say it, and then it comes out completely differently, and you're like, oh,
which is fine.
Okay.
I don't know. There's something like the all too easy is like, and the way that it's shown on screen with the all too easy and the flick of the switch, it's cool. Yeah. It's like it's whereas and this is like, yes, that was a lot easier than I had thought it would be. Like it was just like I don't know. It just sounds dorky.
Yeah,
he's a lot dorkier. I think this Vader is a lot dorkier and a lot more emo.
He's a bit.
Is he in line? I think is he more in line with Hayden Christensen?
Maybe. Yeah. This Vader definitely isn't a Sand fan.
Sand fan 69.
So my thought on why this one was more like this is it's not because the stories are so structured out. It's more like how when you see Ralph McQuarrie concept art from Empire and Jedi, they've got a look. It's more nailed in. Whereas the concept art for Star Wars is exploratory. It's figuring out what the look of Star Wars is going to be. And I feel like the first radio drama was more akin to that. It was more like, here's some scenes. This is stuff that got cut from the original script or from the movie, but was in versions of the script. Whereas, now it's just like, here's the script, here's the shooting script of the film. Let's go in and adapt the film that you saw, as opposed to taking it and going, that would be an interesting scene to do. We could do that scene.
But that's what I'm hoping with Return of the Jedi, and Patrick, you might be able to tell us, is stuff like the deleted scenes that we watched a couple weeks ago, with Luke building the lightsaber and talking to the droids. Like, I would like to see that played out in this, or Moff Jerjerod's whole side storyline. So like there's stuff like that. There's a little more stuff in here with Admiral Piet and Ozzel and stuff like that, which I enjoy. But like Vader again, your throat is crushing thanks to my abilities of the Force, and it's like,
come Piet, look at how I crush his throat.
So is there a world where someone has only listened to the radio dramas and needs that context?
I mean,
do you think there's somebody out there?
Blind people, it's audio descriptive, isn't it? It's
right. But I feel like I would still go to listen to Star Wars. You know?
Well, Ralph, you're not blind, so
yet we can make it happen.
If I was, I would go listen to Star Wars.
Sure.
Yeah. But you've got the context because you can remember what it looks like. If you're born blind, you might need the description.
Right.
I did just check. There are 2 additional scenes in Return of the Jedi. I can tell you what they are if you want, or we can keep it a secret.
I think keep it a secret. Well, we're gonna do them at some point, aren't we?
One of them, you know. One of them, you don't.
Okay, cool. That's exciting.
Okay,
that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it's the Luke lightsaber scene.
Yeah.
It feels like it's so popular because like in Star Wars, we got the Jabba the Hutt scene, but it was a different character.
Heater.
Yeah. And also, if this
they should put Heater in Return of the Jedi at some point. I don't think they will, but that would be amazing.
Right.
Heater showed up.
Yeah.
Instead of Jabba.
Have Jabba, but have Heater
as his like muscle.
Didn't you just do a blast points with Heater, the guy who became Heater in?
Wait, hang on. I'm looking at on Wikipedia. Heater is Declan Mulholland.
Yeah, we discussed. I think we discussed this last time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Did we discuss it? We had to have discussed it last time.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure we discussed this.
I don't think we've ever brought up Heater other than on that episode.
I don't remember talking
but we looked
about
up because I was like, we looked up Heater, and it was like a Dark Horse image of Declan Mulholland as Jabba.
Yeah.
So weird.
And the same with like the admiral that was at Leia's dinner party. Like we looked him up and everything. Yeah.
What they need to do is put back in the Jabba scene, but change the mouth to say, "I'm right here, Heater."
Yeah.
And then
there you go.
They put it back in, even though they say exactly what Greedo says.
Yeah.
It's a redundant scene, but yeah, I agree. It's and they could easily
the pressure that
Jabba
Jabba
to
has.
Heater. Like, it's not going to be that much of a change, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Hell, they've rebuilt Harrison Ford's face. Like, you can do whatever you want with it now.
Sure. Well, I was going to say you've got the audio of Perry King saying it from NPR, so he sounds just like him.
Perfect. Yeah, it's a 1-for-1.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to talk about. It was tough getting through the new voices with the old lines coming out of the new voices in the first one. Yeah. But when I put this in and I heard Leia and Han, it felt comforting. Like, they're back.
Yeah,
they're here.
It's the people I know. And so now that I know
Perry King,
that made me excited because I was like, oh, I feel like I'm right back in it. That's why I'm afraid for Return of the Jedi, because it's not going to be Mark Hamill.
Well,
and I don't know if those other two show up.
No, I mean, I can tell you if you want.
Is it the same cast?
Yeah, it's basically the same cast.
Okay.
Without Mark Hamill.
Although in the review section for Return of the Jedi, people are upset because John Lithgow's Yoda sounds drastically different than he did the last time.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what Lithgow does in that. Dying Yoda
normal.
by Lithgow.
Yeah. I hope he just talks normal. It's not a Yoda voice. There's some good actors in this doing small parts. Do you mind if I talk about that really quick?
Him.
Yeah. David Alan Grier's back, right?
David Alan Grier's back, just doing random voices. Peter Friedman, who is on Succession, he plays oh my god, what is his character on Succession's name? Give me a second. He plays Frank. He plays Frank on Succession, who's like one of the big characters. But he's Dak in it. And David Rashi, who's also on Succession, plays Piet. But the one that I always find fascinating is Don Scardino, who plays Wedge, was on George Lucas Talk Show during COVID because he's a huge sitcom director. He's like the 30 Rock director.
Oh, wow.
And he did like almost every episode of 30 Rock, and he played Wedge. We talked about it on the show. I don't remember what he said because it was, middle of COVID. Right. My brain was gone. Yeah. But we definitely talked about it, and people could find it. He was on, while we were talking about the television show Big Lake, because he directed all of those too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but little Meatball Wedge.
Meatball, which is two words that completely exist in Star Wars, but putting them together immediately makes me think of like an Italian restaurant meatball.
Yeah.
Like calling someone like scruffy looking, but meatball
for sure.
I'm sure they've got like Wampa meatballs and Tonton meatballs when they freeze, like, I'm sure the Echo Base was full of meatballs. They had to survive, didn't they?
It's just funny. It struck me too. When I heard it, I'm like, oh, that's such a Earth thing.
Yeah.
So
especially when they hand out names like Nerf Herder and Moof Milker. Like there's so many names out there that you can just make up that sound funny.
Yeah.
But just to flat out say meatball.
But they're sort of like the old Marvel comics in a way where like they're just like throwing around weird Earth terms where it
a
really
lot of
does not
like
fit.
out of date Earth terms as well. Like
they're both very specific vibes in that it's just like, okay, I guess that's Star Wars now. I guess that's part of it.
Last time we talked about Mark Hamill wanting to, like, we sort of saw this as him taking a new take on his some of the line reads, and he was like, I get a second chance at this. This is cool. This one, I think he did the same thing, but like you could tell that there were ones that he was like, "Oh, I was happy with my original performance. I'm just going to do that again straight away."
Where Billy D was pretty much like, I'll say this the same way. I don't care.
yeah. Billy D was just like, "You've got the audio. Just use that."
Right.
Pay me.
I love the way he says Chewbacca. He sticks with the
Chewbacca.
And
But yeah, he's all over Leia. Like he seems a bit creepier, I think, at the beginning when they first meet Leia in this.
And Leia's way not into.
Oh, Leia
Lando.
hates him. Like, yeah.
That's kind of fun.
I really like the fact that to his face she'd only ever refer to him as Administrator Calrissian. But then like when Ha and Han are talking in private, she will like, "Oh, it's Lando." But as soon as he walks in the room, it's like Administrator Calrissian. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep you at a distance.
I'm on Anne Sachs's website right now, who played Princess Leia.
Right.
She works with her husband, who's a Tony Award-winning lighting designer. They work as like theater design specialists. That's what she does now.
There you go.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good for
Look
her.
at that.
Cool.
But also, here's a weird thing. Hang on. I'm reading her bio, and it says she is still the voice of Princess Leia on NPR. Which, what does that mean?
Is she coming back? Is she doing more?
Oh my god!
When's the
NPR
NPR sequel trilogy?
That's when oh my god, the Thrawn. If they did Thrawn trilogy,
that'd be amazing.
Like let it continue. Like I want, like I know after Return of the Jedi, I'm gonna want a Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
and I just saw a clip online of Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill on some show in like England, like back in like 1984 or 83, like once Star Wars was done, and Mark Hamill talking about, they're like, "Are you going to do more of these?" And we're like, "Oh, I think George's plan is to go back to when
the first ones and then bring us back.
Darth Vader was a kid."
Yeah,
and so I was like, "Oh wow, man!" Like he was planning on it for a while,
and Mark being the one who's like, "When we coming back? Well, let's do it." Because Mark's a massive Star Wars nerd. Like he's always seems to be up for it. Yeah.
I would love to see the prequels. I think there's a lot of room to expand on scenes and show what's going on. Because in Star Wars, characters split off, like, and it tends to be the droids a lot splitting off from the group, and you can tell those stories, like what they're doing in Mos Eisley when Obi-Wan's meeting up with and stuff like that. This one, they're kind of on their own trajectories, and they know when it's the two main storylines. But I feel like with the Phantom Menace, you can really get into, like,
there's so much you could do.
What was Obi-Wan and Anakin talking, or not Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon talking about before landing? Talk about the mission, talk about what they're expecting, stuff like that.
Rick Ollier could go into a deeper explanation of what is Coruscant.
Right.
He could describe. He could do like Rick Ollier should be the star of it because he is the audio description.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he should just be describing.
Get Ralph Brown to do the Star Wars based on the movies by George Lucas or whatever. Have Rick Ollier do that.
Here's the question: who would come back? Because you got Anthony Daniels. He would come back for Phantom Menace audio drama. Would anyone else come back?
Beyond, I think Ewan would.
Beyond, like,
no, I don't think Ewan would.
You don't think Ewan McGregor would?
No.
He's doing like commercials for like travel.com or something.
Yeah,
but he probably got paid $7 million.
He did like half an hour's work.
Like, NPR's congressional budget keeps getting cut.
I mean, they can get the well, that's the thing. You do it for, out of the good of your heart. But you can get the Clone
Ian
Wars
McDermott
guys.
might. Ian McDermott might.
Yeah.
Ian McDermott might.
You'd probably get the Clone Wars guys. That's probably the way to do it.
Yeah. There you go.
But
those guys are great. Yeah. James Arnold Taylor. Yeah, that's Obi-Wan, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. Sounds fun.
Kind of want.
It would be fun.
I
if
would
they
love it.
did-
I really
I mean,
would love
if
it.
they did Solo with 75-year-old Perry King.
man.
As like 18, 19-year-old Han Solo, that'd be great.
His voice.
I'm just a kid.
He's got like
No, you put
sort
Perry
of a
King.
Han Solo cadence down.
Yeah.
But his voice is just is like pitched up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if he were just to pitch down his voice just a little bit, it would be a pretty good Harrison.
His deliveries are great. Like they're not exact, but like they're better. They are better suited to the audio drama as opposed to the visual sort of thing.
Sure.
I really like Perry King as Han Solo. I think he's very good.
Wonder
when I listen to his voice.
Yeah.
When I listen to his voice, I'm imagining in my head the holiday special cartoon version.
Yeah.
Even though I think Harrison Ford did that.
Yeah.
Cartoon.
But still
but
that
the
look.
Perry King as that
real long face.
Yeah.
I wonder if his line readings in the Return of the Jedi one will be better than Harrison's line readings. Because that's a movie where like you're like, oh, he doesn't care about this for the most part. He's got some good readings in it, but for the most part, you're like, he does not want to be here. And I wonder if I don't remember. I'm very curious.
That's what's fun about using the same actors for the radio dramas is they can do the character.
They can become
the character. Yeah,
definitely.
And so that's what I look for.
I'm glad
they're back.
That's what is really interesting again about the Return of the Jedi one is that it's over a decade later that they did that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they would have had to have gone back and listened to some of the stuff that they did just to be like, okay, right, that's what I was doing there. Yeah. Or they just did a completely new take. Jeremy Kelly asked who did Riken because he did a great job. It
was a guy named Merwin Goldsmith whose Wikipedia page I was on because I saw that comment. He was like a Detroit theater actor. He's in like Quiz Show and some other stuff, but now my IMDb is frozen.
Contestant.
He was just a guy. He was a judge on Law and Order 12 times.
I wonder if he's the same judge or 12 different judges.
It's a great question. If my IMDb was not frozen, I would be over. So you've never seen Law and Order?
No.
I mean, I'm
familiar with the characters.
Yeah, I'm familiar enough with it, but yeah, I never watched it.
I was going to mention just because this needs to be out there into the universe is that if they do Phantom Menace, I mean, clearly John Lithgow needs to come back.
Absolutely.
And just go nuts with his prequel Yoda.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Jackson came back. Like I could see Sam doing it. Like he'd like a paycheck.
It would take him what, a half hour to read.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have much.
Yeah.
All he has to do is sass out a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Like give him a big scene.
Yeah.
Have him dispatching. Have the scene that where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are at the council. Talking about the negotiations with the
extend the test of Anakin when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are out on the balcony. Like,
he says cup and ship like 5 more times.
That's all he knows. Cup, ship, speeder on a loop. We just cut back in at the end where they got.
I made one of those Helvetica shirts.
I love that shirt.
It said cup, ship,
speeder,
cup, or whatever. Cup. I have the right order. Ship, I need to get myself that. I think
that's a good one.
It's a really good shirt. I was tempted to order it when I got my other one, but shipping.
Yeah. I don't have those designs, so I can't make a new UK version.
I'm sure that we can knock together a Helvetica shirt.
Yeah, they're easy to make.
That one's fine.
I came up with that shirt and I was like, oh my god, this is genius. I'm gonna go buy it right away and it's gonna be awesome. And then I didn't. I don't think anybody's bought it. If you want to, look in the description below.
Yeah.
There's our merch
we don't
page.
plug our stuff enough. We just talk about our own merch that we want to buy for ourselves.
Which we don't.
But sometimes that's what you got to do. You know, if there's a piece of merch that you want that doesn't exist, it's like, well, I might as well just make it.
Yeah.
Because if I want it, one other person will also want it. You know?
I had commissioned and I think George already has one of these. Is the pig shirt from Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Yeah, Wally's World. Yeah.
No, that's Vacation.
Vacation.
Oh yeah.
What is it called?
Pleasant. And I have a version with it's like Pleasureville or
Wonderworld.
Wonderworld.
I was close.
Wonderworld. Yeah, you were close. Yeah, it's a good shirt. It's a good shirt. I'm trying to think of anything else from this that was interesting. This one was just so much less interesting than the first one.
It was. Like, I was listening to it and I listened to the first like 4 episodes in one night, and then I was like, I'll come back to it in a couple of days. I'll come back to it in a couple of days. And I finished it off last night and I was like, cool. That was fine. That was good.
Sure.
But the whole time I was like, I'm struggling. And like, obviously when Lithgow hit, I was like, great. We got some stuff here.
Now we're playing with gas.
Yeah. But other than that, and just the comedy of Vader describing pulling Han's gun and look, and all of that stuff. But there wasn't as much. There just wasn't. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So guys, if you want merch, we've got some fun shirts. The weirdest shirt.
This is the weirdest one.
That's the weirdest one. Yeah.
So you know the making of Star Wars, as told by C-3PO and R2-D2. They're in like a Doctor Who type set, and this symbol is on the door in the background, and we realized it's a key. It's a symbol for a key.
Sure. And
I just designed that, but here's
I do like the salad one. I also like this one.
I really like that one.
I really do like this.
$13 right now.
Not bad.
Oh, cool.
Not bad.
Yeah, I had a
plus
friend
like
make
40
this.
to ship it over here, probably.
Yeah,
I had a friend make this.
Can you make one that just says Harry King is my Han Solo? Can you?
Yeah, should do it in. And then my Mandalorian and Kenobi.
Or bring back Heater.
Heater lives.
Heater.
It's Star Wars font.
Heater Star Wars story.
The Star Wars Minute. I'm going to promote their merch page. Someone said that they wanted like more food in the Star Wars font. Like they just wanted more food in Star Wars, and they said that needs to be a shirt. More food in Star Wars font. So in like a Futura font, they did a shirt that says like more food in Star Wars font, like, all spelled out, and I think that's funny.
That's funny.
Like probably one person bought it, but I need to get that. I need to get the Anakin's Test shirt because it makes me happy.
It's a really good shirt.
But it says, I already forget what it says, but it says
ship
speeder
cup
twice
ship
or...
speeder.
Yeah, it says ship twice.
Yeah, ship cup ship speeder. Yeah,
so dumb. What are we doing, guys? What are we
wear
doing?
that at Celebration.
Absolutely.
That's what I'd wear. That's a great.
I mean, I wore mine on the first day of Celebration just to see if anyone recognized it. I think the only people that recognized it were people that had been on the show.
I'm hitting a point where there's a girl, Abigail, who makes me a shirt for every George Lucas talk show.
Right.
A different shirt. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, I have too many Star Wars shirts. Because I have like 65 Star Wars t-shirts at this point because she keeps making them. And my every time I'm like looking for something to wear and I'm like, no, give me a regular shirt. Any normal shirt is fine.
You guys should sign them and auction them for your trip to Edinburgh, because apparently Edinburgh's fairly expensive.
Yeah,
like I watched an episode of Force 5 with you and Ken Plume.
Yeah,
I think it was 4 hours long or something ridiculous. And Ken was like, Ken was the first one that brought up the fact that it's very expensive, and I didn't realize that. And you guys have been doing shows to raise money,
and also in August during like Fringe. It's ridiculous. I looked because I've got the first weekend of August off. It's like the only time in August that I'm free, and I was like, sweet, I'll come up and stuff. I looked and fuck, I just can't afford to. Like it's ridiculous. It'd probably be cheaper for me to go to New York and see a show there.
our housing for the week, I don't feel bad saying this, is over $10,000 or for the month.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
for the
yeah.
month.
Yeah,
But
I was gonna
still.
say you guys are there for a month.
For the month.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
How did the telethon go?
It went well. It went well.
With
We did
Michael stuff,
we
you
did a
guys
pretty
did
good
a good
amount.
job.
Yeah.
If for those of you who don't know, we should probably say, like, if you're watching this and you don't know, we're just going to talk about the fact that the George Lucas Talk Show are going to be Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Edinburgh all of August.
All of August, we're
some shows.
doing. Connor Ratliff wrote a play for him and Griffin Newman to do in character as Watto and Baron Papanoida, everyone's favorite Star Wars character, Baron Papanoida.
Yep.
So they're doing that. It's a serious play. It's like a real play. It's pretty good.
Do they talk about being blue? Is there a bit?
Is it going to be online anywhere after?
Not as of right now, but I think the ultimate goal would be to do some kind of filmed version of it. Would be the ultimate end game, but I don't right now. No.
I was hoping. Is there
because the goal is also
radio drama? Can we do a radio drama? Can we get Brock Peters?
Oh man, I would love it. I think he's dead, but I would love it.
Should we get someone to pretend to be Brock Peters, pretending to be James Earl Jones?
Yes, Brock Peters died.
Brock Peters is not pretending to be James Earl Jones.
Can we get James Earl Jones to do a Brock Peters impression?
Can we get Matthew Wood to get Brock Peters into his machine? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Brock Peters as Anakin.
Oh wow, he's Brock Peters buried very close to where I live.
Oh wow.
At a cemetery.
You're gonna go see if his vocal cords still work, or what?
No, like the backyard back here. Anyways, we're going to Edinburgh. We're going for the month. We're doing, I think it's 23 plays, and then 4 talk shows, and then 4 or 5 what's being called George Provs, because Watto needs to come back for something in the US. So it's just a one-man George improv show, I believe is what it is.
Great.
So it's a lot. It's gonna be a lot, but it'll be fun, I think. Who knows? Maybe it won't.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll all hate each other afterwards. I don't know.
Might be the very end of it, but hey, at least you would have gone out with a bang. That's great. No, Edinburgh Fringe Festival is huge. It's incredible the talent that has come out of there, and still like continues to go every year. It's amazing. My girlfriend's been. I've never done it. I'd love to.
Yeah, I think it's just a shame that people are getting priced out of it. You know,
same as anything. It's like South by Southwest or anything like that, or it's But yes, it is a shame.
Yeah.
I don't know. One day.
Anyways.
But yeah, Ralph was asking how the telethon was going.
Oh yeah, it went well. It definitely put a good dent in the money that has been spent on this project. I think we're gonna do 2 more live streams before we go. Cool. They will not be as heavily telethon focused, I believe, but it will still be in order to help.
But the donations are still open. Yeah, they are still open.
Yes,
so
yes.
Go donate if you can.
Yes.
I mean, Patrick, if you want to copy and paste the link into the private chat, I can make a banner for it.
I'll say it out loud and I'll copy and paste it here. It's bit.ly/Baron Junk. Because the show is called The Baron and the Junk Dealer. So
it's great.
It's a thing. I mean, look,
do you have a classic playbill for it with like the yellow top and the image? I saw the image.
Look, we have some stuff that has not been shared yet to the public, so it's coming. It's coming. There you go.
I'm very jealous. I looked at it. I tried really hard to be able to get
appreciate it.
I'm gutted. I'm gutted that I can't.
Yeah.
I know that I think all month I'm going to be seeing stuff and I'm just like, fuck.
I know. I think you will probably see it eventually in some form, whether that's a filmed version of the play, or maybe they make it a movie
live in Japan Star Wars Celebration or something.
Yes. They don't.
I can
let
imagine
us
that
in
audience
there.
being really interesting.
Yeah, I think they would be confused by us no matter what. So
it's confusing. It's a confusing it's. I mean, you can explain it to people. I think it's something you just have to kind of experience. And again, if you are unfamiliar with the George Lucas talk show, I cannot recommend enough the Amy Irving episode.
That's the one that I've shown to people.
it's a real you get it. You're like, what's perfect about it is we all know it's not really George Lucas, and that's kind of the fun of it. And with Amy Irving
playing into it,
acting like it, playing into that it is George Lucas. That's I think so the most fun.
Now I'll say this: we have an episode premiering on YouTube tomorrow, so May 26th at 6 p.m. featuring, and I don't necessarily feel bad about saying this, I believe the worst guest we've ever had.
Oh wow.
Okay, so I saw you. The last time I saw Patrick in person was at a Ben Burt event.
Yes.
Is this the one that you edited? Is this the you were talking about? Oh,
I did have to edit out 2 comments that was made by this guest because they were booed by the audience.
Wow.
And I
did you leave the boos in?
No, I don't. There are boos still in there, but not for these 2 because it wouldn't make sense. But I said it would look worse on us if I left these comments in. So it's a weird one. It's a real weird one. Yeah, I don't know. Although there is something in it that will cause an update on Wikipedia, which I'm very happy for.
Oh,
I'm very happy for that. There's also a lot of solo talk because this person was in the Lord and Miller solo.
Oh wow!
So we get some good Lord and Miller solo talk. So
nice. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Watch that. I'll be watching that next week probably.
Yeah.
Right. I'm excited about that. I can't wait to see. And then the episode you guys did with Michael, that was fun too.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
It's a good one.
Right.
Yeah, I was
you guys were freaking out about the bookcases in the background with like all of the scripts and everything. It's all of the music. Like, I mean, Ralph, I'm assuming that you've probably seen that and been able to sort of have a look at all of that. Like,
I mean, look, here's the thing: if we're bragging, I've seen it too. I've been there too. So I was just trying to amp up the audience a little bit.
You did the right.
You knew to ask the question.
Yeah,
absolutely. You knew to ask the question.
Absolutely. I knew what I had to get out.
You talked about like I need next time I go over there, I need to see if he has the Mickey Mania. He did some tracks for the Mickey Mania Sega CD game.
Oh wow!
I think he did 2 tracks. And what's crazy is I have it. You just pop in the CD and you just rip it like a regular CD or listen like a regular CD. You can tell which ones he did.
That's so funny.
It's like, not that he's like one note or anything, but every composer has a signature style,
everything else.
And you can hear his style come through in this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I love it
because I played him for him. He said, because when I found out about this, the next time I had seen him, we were in Ireland, and it sounds like I'm a world traveler. I've been to 2 places, and I said I saw your name on this Sega CD game. He's like, oh yeah. I said, I ripped him. He's like, you have him on your phone? I'm like, yeah. And so I sat there playing him. He's like, yeah, I did that one. He said, I think Mickey was being chased by a moose. I'm like, oh, that's his track. He's like, yeah, that's me. It's like 1993 video game.
Wow,
that's crazy. I don't know that. I've never heard of that one.
I'll send you the full thing.
Mania game. Oh wow, here it is.
Mickey Mania for Sega CD.
there's a long play on YouTube of it, and it is only 45 minutes long.
So if you scrub through and go to the scene with the moose, I don't know if
there it is.
I don't know if you're able to present on your thing.
I can't.
No.
Oh, you can't.
Wow.
All right.
Look at that.
Private link me the link.
I love it. Hang on.
I think James has like dinner reservations, but we have time
not for a while. Yeah, I got time. I'm curious. I want to see this.
Okay, hang on. Let me get this.
That's what I love about Data Link is.
Yeah, they're the best.
I think as far as the thing goes,
I think we covered it.
But I
think
mean,
we did it. Meatball, that's it.
Yeah.
Meatball.
Patrick, you'll come back when we do Return of the Jedi, yeah?
Yeah.
we'll give you some time. We'll give it.
We're not going to do it immediately. Like,
here's the thing. Here's the thing with this. I'm very happy to come back. I was doing a bit. I was doing a joke. I think that one is like as long as the movie.
Okay. Wow.
I think that one is just like 2 hours. Like I don't think there's.
I was going to say that about the Return of the Jedi one as well, and the fact that they've got the Luke lightsaber scene. Am I right? Was it 96 that one came out? You had it open. Yeah. So 96, like Shadows of the Empire was out in full force.
Well,
and in that there's a version of Luke building the lightsaber and stuff as well. So
there's
it
also references to Shadows of the Empire in the radio drama.
Gonna say like
in 96, really?
It was.
There's
it was
also like a
everywhere.
There's a Mara Jade thing, because she's like in Tales
at
from
Jabba's Palace, wasn't she? Yeah.
There's like a reference to that character or something. Apparently, I'm just looking at this. I don't remember that.
I don't know if I care for this.
Oh well, I'm really intrigued because of some of the weird EU stuff that would have been going on there.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is Michael Giacchino music from Reset 193.
Yeah.
I
don't think this is the Sega CD version.
Oh, interesting.
This is not the Sega CD version.
Wow. Well, now we're really getting into.
I'm getting into it. I'm going to find it. I mean, can I play? Can I present stuff from my iTunes?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I think you could probably just play it on your computer and we would hear it. Oh, but you have headphones in, so maybe not.
Yeah, my headphones.
Look at Ralph repping his merch for the restaurant that Sharon Tate ate at before she was murdered.
I know. I like the hat.
Is the restaurant good?
You know what's funny? Some people sent me the Rick Dalton New Beverly thing, and everyone was posting about it. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And I go to IMDb. I'm like, there's like a picture of Leo DiCaprio. I haven't seen that movie. I need to see it. I purchased it on iTunes.
I like
it. Watched it. Yeah,
I do too. I like it a lot.
There's a thing with Quentin Tarantino where I feel like I have to give it a couple years. Like I watched Django Unchained like 2 years after the fact, and then I was like, "Wow, this movie's great."
Yeah.
And then same with Inglourious Basterds, same with Hateful Eight. I love Hateful Eight.
Well, good
Hateful
news.
Eight should be radio play.
It's been 4 years.
Yeah. You got plenty of time now.
Okay, so I'll watch. I think I'm ready now that
no one's going to ask you to read the expanded version novel, Ralph. So you're good.
Have you read it?
I haven't. No, I've been tempted. I really like it.
I do too. I really like it.
It's like my favorite Tarantino in a while. Yeah.
I think it's top 2 or 3 Tarantino for me.
Yeah, I'd go top 3 probably.
Yeah.
Are we including True Romance in there? Because he wrote it.
No.
Okay. All right.
He shared
specific rules.
It bumps it up because
we are including those episodes of Alias that he's in though.
And his segment of 4 Rooms.
His segment of 4 Rooms, the episode of ER that he directed, and anything that he ever did at the video store.
You know what I don't like?
Oh well, then sorry. Like, it's been bumped down to like because those video store ones. That's the peak. I'm not interested if it's not from the video store.
Oh, there it is. Oh, but you know what I don't like? You know what that bothers me? Is that Quentin Tarantino kind of shits on Death Proof.
I like Death Proof a lot.
I really like Death Proof. I like Death Proof more than Planet Terror.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Let's not
It's
go
been a
crazy.
while since I've seen either of them.
Let's not go crazy here.
So hopefully you can hear this. Let me know if you can't. And hopefully it's not too loud.
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
Nope.
How do I fix that? I don't think it's going to happen then.
Oh no, we can't hear the song from the 1993 video game. What are we going to do?
Listen, it's really
Aaron.
good.
Aaron Sloan's here. Aaron, I believe, joined us after Star Wars Minute. So welcome, Aaron. Hi.
100% on that comment too.
Yeah.
That comment is... I'm going to get this to happen, guys. I think I found a way to
Aaron,
do it.
if this is the first time you're joining us live, this is what sort of Data Link becomes. Like, we'll talk about something for a little while and then we'll just end up chit-chatting and stuff.
It also happens a lot with Patrick. Is getting into fun stuff.
Normally by now I've gone to work.
Now I just drop the file into Chrome.
Oh my god. Here we go.
Let's hear if you can hear it. Yeah. This is like 1993 video game.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
This is great.
It's Michael Giacchino for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Great.
100%.
Wow.
He didn't have to do that good of work for this video game, but it's really good. And I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 tracks that are his. I could send you the whole thing, and you can go figure out which ones are which. But it's. I was looking at the liner notes, and in the car it said additional music, Michael Giacchino. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, he was on the George Lucas Talk Show, and it was a great episode. Everyone should check it out.
Sure.
Yep.
That was a wild
one.
one.
He goes through some of his books.
Yeah, we made him go through everything. Now here's a thing. Look at this. He is not credited on IMDb for that video game.
Oh,
there are 2 other guys credited for music.
Yeah, there was like, I think there's 2 guys and then 2 additional ones. It takes a town.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Additional music. He's under additional music.
It takes a whole town, not just a village, Ralph.
I got excited. I thought we were going to be able to change the world here.
Well, can I tell you something that I've been struggling with?
No.
So, like, as we've been announcing people for our movie, I've been adding them to the IMDb page, and Michael has provided fully orchestrated music for our documentary, and I'm afraid to put his name on it on our IMDb page because I don't know what to credit it as. Just music by, and then also I feel like it's gonna pop up and he's gonna give me a call and be like, "Don't put that." I don't know how to put it
first.
Yeah, I'll ask him. But
it seems like an easy solution.
Wow. I mean, look, I'm looking at this cast list, and there is one notable exception of who was added to this cast list. One giant gaping hole of who has not been added.
Oh,
there's 3 people.
He's right here, Ralph. Come on.
There's 3 people. Here's the thing. Is I have 3 people to stick in there. And I'm afraid listen. There are 3 people in there that we're not sure if they'll make the final cut or not because we have a lot of interviews.
No, of course. Yeah. No, I know.
And
I've been saying that since day one, where I'm like, oh, I'm getting cut out of this.
also, I feel like it's a thing is like, we didn't have questions for you specifically because you came in last minute because Michael had to take care of something else last minute, and you were in town, and we got you in real quick. And that happened with a couple people, and so we're like, I want to get you. I want everybody to get in there because you took the time to come and spend a couple hours with us, and I want you in there. I can put you on there. I'm just afraid it's going to be have a parenthetical next to your where it says
Scenes
It's
deleted.
self. Yeah.
I mean, I do like that. I do like that. I think that's
Are you
fun.
okay with that? I could put you in right
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely, I'm okay with it.
Okay, good. Because I had some other friends who Taylor was like, yeah, I don't know if they're going to get in. I'm like, I rewatched the interview. There's some good stuff in there. And I said
Yeah.
the same thing about you.
Yeah.
But I said, those guys don't care if they get scenes deleted, but
No.
I'll do that. I'm going to do that as we speak.
There you go.
Talk about the radio drama, guys.
It
I
was
can
a radio
say-
drama. It was 10 episodes long.
Everybody, it's worth your time.
It is worth your time. It's a fun listen. If you haven't listened to either of them, go and listen to the Star Wars one first, because that's way better. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Um,
I knew by the time they were escaping Hoth and they didn't do like the Wampa escape thing that we weren't going to get any additional things. Like it's at most, as we said earlier on, it's expanded lines.
Yeah, we do get a little more with like Veers, like sort of the tactical stuff, like the fact that they kind of explain the shield a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the fact that they have
shield
to
generator and what it's doing, and yeah.
Not
it's
much.
good.
It's good. Yeah. It's good. It's like if you like classic trilogy, and you want more classic trilogy era stuff in your life, like great.
And you need to go on a walk and like kill some time.
Exactly.
It's a great walk thing.
That's what I did. That's what I did.
Yeah.
25 minutes long each. You could cut out the first 2 minutes because it's just the Star Wars theme and the intro.
And
then the credits at the end.
4 minutes. And also put it on 1.5 speed and you're done in like 10 minutes.
Well, last night I was finishing up. I was listening to the Cloud City Escape, and Stevie was in the vanity, and she's like, "Are you listening to that at 1.5 speed?" And I'm like, "No, they're just talking really fast." And I put it at 1.5 speed. I'm like, this is too fast. So I actually put it at 0.75 speed to see if she noticed, like, if it sounded normal.
Yeah.
But it sounded like Lando was drunk, and it wasn't.
I mean, probably was.
Yeah.
Like character, actor, everything involved. Like Lando's definitely going to be inebriated.
Right. I feel bad. I feel bad for Lando in this one because they talk about Cloud City and how it's like a safe haven for sort of like bad guys who want to go straight.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's like a safe haven, and I you don't get that in the movie, and it's like it's little bits like that where you're like, okay, this is
why was Lando so insistent about trying to protect his people? It wasn't it wasn't just because he wanted the money for running the place. It was a haven. Yeah, as you said. Yeah, that was interesting. That was a good extra bit.
No.
Yeah, I think Brian Daly is his name. I think he really adds some stuff, sort of fleshes out some things to make things make sense a little bit more too.
Yeah. But also it makes sense that he gives that sort of stuff to Lando, because by this point he would have written those Lando adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like he's got an idea of the character. Same with Han, like why Han is so good in these, because Han and Lando, like he's got that already from his work on those books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote, let's see how many books he wrote. There's the Han Solo trilogy, which came out in the late 70s, early 80s. Very early stuff.
Mm-hmm. Star's End and all that. Yeah.
And that's kind of it. And then he wrote the 3 radio dramas. He wrote Rebel Mission to Ord Mantell, which was like another radio drama thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which I have not heard.
Is that going to be a radio adaptation of the newspaper strip comic? Because that's where they do like the Ord Mantell stuff. If so, we should find that, Ralph. That'd be fun.
It's from 1983, and it's Corey Burton as Luke. Corey Burton is Cad Bane.
Yeah.
And then he wrote something in 1996 called Predators of the Empire. Oh, it's an article in Star Wars Galaxy Magazine 6.
Wow. I probably had that issue.
he wrote something. He wrote a Dark Horse comic, a one shot called Star Wars Droids: The Protocol Offensive, which came out after he died.
That's a great title.
Yeah.
That's a great title. That sounds like a Mission Impossible, but for robots.
The Protocol Offensive.
Aaron says she hasn't listened to the radio drama yet. Anytime you want to listen to it, it's right in the show description. We have a link, and you can listen to all of them through there.
Definitely recommend downloading the files because the NPR, the archive.org site can be hit and miss.
It's buggy.
Sometimes. Yeah, I found it. I just downloaded them and listened to them straight from the file.
Yeah, I downloaded them. I put them in my books on my iPhone.
I'll do it.
So it lets you know how much time you have left, and it separates.
Pause it. You can leave the app. Yeah.
And like I just set it to have that.
It says you hit your reading goal for the day.
It did.
If you haven't read anything,
it cracked me up.
Real good about that.
Yeah, it cracked me up when it started saying that. I'm like, oh, I've never seen that before, ever. But then you could set the artwork to that poster art, that amazing like Ralph. Is it Ralph McQuarrie? Did he do it with the Yoda in Dagobah with all the creature?
Yeah.
Looks like a blacklight poster.
Really does.
Like I want that. I want like Mondo or not Mondo. Like Bottleneck Gallery to
too soon
print out like a
Vice Press, one of those guys. Yeah. Bottleneck Vice. Yeah. No, that'd be really cool. I'd like that. And they do a lot of the Bottleneck. I've got a few prints of theirs that are like on the glow in the dark stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Fun.
All right, I have nothing else unless you guys want to talk about something.
I got nothing.
Besides that, Indiana Jones is coming out soon. I keep forgetting there's a new Indiana Jones, which I think is good because I don't want to get so anxious about it. But maybe we should look into when that comes out and do a data link episode.
I'm definitely down for doing a data link. I'll be going opening weekend. I think I'm going on the Friday or the Sunday, whichever. I've got one of those nights off, and I'm like, I'm going then. I really want it to be good. I'm really hopeful. I've heard some mixed stuff out of those early screenings, so we'll see.
Spielberg says it's great.
No,
watch the movie for yourself. Enjoy the movie on your own.
That's what I always say about everything.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. They're all fun.
And
There's no bad Indiana Jones.
That's what I was going to say about that is before The Last Jedi, we got like the announcement of the Rian Johnson trilogy, and then you got to think that there's some reason, like related to the backlash of The Last Jedi, as to why that was pushed so much and so much and so much, and now Ryan's busy doing other stuff. Mangold announced as the director of this first Jedi movie. At the time, at Celebration, everyone was like, "That's a really good sign. That means that they are very happy with Indy." I really just hope that no matter how this film actually is, or what I think of this film, if there is a backlash to this film, that they don't just go, ooh, and like take their foot off the gas with that movie. That's my fear. Trevorrow. Yeah, they don't do their sort of scared tactic of filmmaking. They just are confident with what they want to make. Whether it ends up being good or not, like just be confident and make it. Like that's what I want to see at this point.
Yeah.
Don't cater just to the whims of people.
That reminds me of something I need to tell Patrick after we're done.
Ooh, okay, let's wrap up.
Secrets. Not for you, audience.
It's not that great. It just has to do with his show. Something that happened on his show.
Ooh, okay. All right.
And that's good. Aaron is also a supporter of Orthodox.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I spent all of the dark time up until this whole May the 4th thing celebrating Star Wars on May 25th because that's when it came out and for this new sort of thing to come in and be like, where's the new thing? I'm like, no.
I don't have the hatred that you have for it because I'm like, whatever, let people have their fun. But
yes, it just gets under my skin. I try not to really get into it.
Yeah. I think you were a lot better about it this year than last year. Last year you went pretty hard on it. But yeah, happy anniversary to us as well. Ralph, it's a great 2 years. Looking forward to many more.
So funny that you remember that it was our anniversary.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Let me get over to here. StreamYard. It's been 2 years. Please streamline your back end. Put stuff where we can get to it. It's so hard to go back and forth. All right. Anyway, thanks to everybody for joining us. Patrick, thanks for joining us.
As always, happy to do it.
This. Sorry, I had to go to a different tab to this. Everybody, make life easy on these guys. They're putting out great stuff. Check out the Amy Irving show if you like it. If you'd be like, man, I'd pay $1 to see that show. Give them $1.
Pay $1. $1. Yeah. That's all we want. $1.
If everybody in the chat gave $1, they'd have 6 more bucks.
Ooh.
You're nearly there. Almost to the 10 grand for your month of accommodation.
Okay, now I'm back to where I need to be. All right. Thank you guys. It's been a great 2 years, and we look forward to 2 more.
That's it.
That's it. As long as we're the only one championing
Star Wars, we've got.
Yeah, we'll be there. And it doesn't sound like it's going away, so
I think that'll be all right.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do it. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will be back at our regular scheduled time next Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. West Coast.
To talk about
3:30 p.m. UK to talk about Star Wars biomes
and fly-throughs,
the vehicle fly-throughs that you can find on Disney Plus.
I didn't bring it up, but I think because the Star Destroyer and the Millennium Falcon vehicle fly-throughs were actually shot on the sets, that it is considered live action Star Wars. I don't think Biomes is. So
it looks like live action though. So
right.
It counts. We're counting it.
All right, let's get out of here.
It's going to be our screensaver episode. It's going to be a lot like a data link, probably, because it'll just be talking about that place looks pretty.
Yeah. We can get into what planet you'd like to live on in Star Wars. And
it'll be fun.
What would be a nice place to visit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, that's next Wednesday. Join us then. Thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, comment, leave reviews, tell your friends, tell your mum, all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
My mom doesn't listen to me.
Oh, my mum doesn't know what a podcast is. Thanks for joining us, Patrick. And we will see you for the next one. Until then, though, don't give in to hate.
Celebrate the love.
Meatball.